It was me, Damien, Kitsy, and I can't remember who was the fourth player who was playing with us. And it was like really misty at the Zalza.
Yeah.
Teed off, but it was like you tear off like ball gone. You just hope that it's because you lose it in the mist.
Somewhere there.
Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Storytime. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. As you can see, die nuwe een. We new boys. Yeah, new logo, new jersey. Shout out to the Stormers. And in celebration, ladies and gentlemen, today we have Ruhan Nel in studio. Ruan, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, man.
Good to have you here.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's. I feel like we've swapped jobs here today.
At least you're making the jersey look good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know all the right things to say, dude. Like,
No,
it feels good, dude. I like the Cape Town added.
Yeah. No,
makes it feel
definitely.
home.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, I think that's the Cape Town tourism part of it.
Yeah.
But a big part of the Stormers as well. You know, I think it's not a secret. It's you know, I don't want to be having the political answers, but it's a big part of the Stormers. You know, making Cape Town smile and everything. You know, so as we travel around the world, obviously to have Cape Town right there on our sleeve is obviously very special, dear to the team, close to our hearts. So I think Eddie has done an absolute phenomenal job. Yeah, with the kit, the jersey, home and away, or alternative jersey. So I'm personally excited to get into this thing and actually start the season. Yeah,
It was so sick to see at the reveal event that happened on Tuesday. The amount of effort, time, like branding, budget, everything that's been put behind this new season. I was getting pretty pumped standing in that lobby, being like, you can see all the boys are like rejuvenated for the year. It feels like everyone has a secret, like the team has a secret that the rest of us don't know about, and they're very ready for the season. And it's just, everyone looks sharp, everyone looks smart. You know, the boots, the outfit, the jerseys, even what we saw today in the track suits, and like Adidas came out and went, watch this.
Look, we're loving it. We're loving it. And like I just said, like the alternative strip, you'll probably get like, you know, your traditionalist, and you know, I think we're like diving straight into it, you know, like a pretty controversial subject, I think, in Cape Town at this stage. You know, with the whole logo change and kit change and everything. But you know, it's like you said, like there's a team behind these things, you know, and I mean, like it's not a thing that happened overnight where people are just like, oh yeah, I woke up, let me just decide to you know, flip the script and everything. There's so much time, energy, consideration that's, you know, put into behind, first of all, changing the logo, going into the kit. You know, like you can see, like we're still honoring Western Province with the stripes. You know, we all know a big part of the hoops is of Western Cape Rugby. At the back, you still got the dizer that's there. You know, so there's a lot of thought, even the logo that's changed, you know, there's a lot of thought that went into it. So it's not something that people are trying, you know, we're trying to throw away the history of the union. I think one thing that was kept in mind especially was the history of the union, you know. So I don't think the creative team or anybody who was making decisions was under the illusion that I think they understood pretty well, like, listen, we're busy with a thing that's pretty sensitive to a lot of people in Cape Town, you know.
Very important to everyone.
So and we get it, you know, us as players. I actually commented on someone's on my Instagram the other day where a guy was like, you know, he plainly said, you know, the logo is cuck and I won't buy the jersey. And I just said to him, bro, like, I get it, you know, like I get the fact that you're upset. And, you know, but thanks for your feedback, bro. But, you know, but nevertheless, thanks for the support as well. So we get it, you know, people don't like change. Personally, for me as a player, I grew up with that old Stormers logo, you know. My heroes played in that logo, in the badge, you know. So when we initially, when the logo was initially revealed to us as well, I was just like, it's a drastic change, you know. And so the same reaction the fans have now, we had as players as well, you know. But we're embracing it. We're looking forward to the new season, you know. And obviously, same way that we moved from Newlands to Cape Town, building new memories, we're looking forward to building new memories in the jersey as well.
And that was also a huge point of contention as well, leaving Newlands.
Yeah, 100%.
People were I mean, myself included, all my childhood memories were made at Newlands with Spur next door. And we need to get Spur as a sponsor on the show. I mentioned Spur every episode on the show, but we'd always be at Spur next door, a couple beers, whatever, and then do the walk past, you know, the castle garden and into the stadium. But now, over the last, what's it been? I've been watching rugby at that stadium for the last 4 or 5 years now at Greenpoint. the amount of memories that we've made there.
Yeah.
Like it holds two different places in my heart for me now.
Yeah.
You know, that like my childhood, my dad and I did Newlands, and that meant the world. Now Greenpoint, growing up to become a man, now, you know, myself and my partner and my brother, now he's an adult, like we made memories there together.
100%.
You know, so I think as you like change, people get very upset about change. The logo online was a huge point of discussion.
Yeah, no, look, bro, like us as players, we were literally saying, because we obviously knew that we'll be releasing the new logo, let's say on the Wednesday. So like on that Monday, all of us were like saying like, oh my goodness, we'll just be checking social media on Wednesday, you know? So it was like a thing for us to see obviously how the people are going to react, because you want the people to be reacting positively and everything. You know? So it was weird because I said it almost felt like, because I was part of the transition going from Newlands, you know, to DHL Stadium. You know, I was part of the playing squad back then, and I said like it felt to me at one stage like I'm back in that again, you know, where there was massive change, you know, people upset, and we get that, you know. But I think it's such a great opportunity for us as a squad, you know, to embrace it, because you know, what better reason to give the people something to believe in again, you know, like
there you go.
Big change, create new memories, you know, make it fun again for the people. So I think it's really exciting, and I'm really excited for where the whole union is going, you know, Stormers Rugby is going. So it's something that I believe every young rugby player wants to be part of going forward as well. So
100%. It's almost like Stormers have kind of cemented themselves, at least in South Africa, as like, I feel like it's cool to play for the Stormers. It's cool to support the Stormers. You know, like I think the Bulls still hold a lot of that with Loftus and like the intensity of them and the brutality that they bring into a game. That will forever stand for me since a lighty. Like the Bulls fandom with the ballas hanging off the back of the bucky in Pretoria, you know, like the usual kind of thing. Like that'll always be like ingrained in my mind, especially living in Pretoria and Joburg and seeing that. But Cape Town has this like, Cape Town fandom is so proud to be a Stormer. It's incredible to see. Like a loss is a heartbreak, and a win makes the week.
Like, look, I think Dobber has touched on it. You know, like when the Stormers win, you know, like gender-based violence decreases in the Western Cape, you know, or in Cape Town.
That's crazy.
You know, like that's the influence the team has, you know. So, but it's interesting. I think, you know, when you touch on the Bulls. You know, it's like you said, like when you think of the Bulls team, you know, like for years, even growing up, you knew it's big forwards, strong boys coming. You know, they got really good backs. And, you know, they've also evolved over the years where they've got much more skillful forwards. Not that I'm saying that what they had was not, you know, but I mean, like most of the forwards have got so many soft skills as now, you know, they've got quick outside back Springboks. You know, so it's really quality, and I think it's great for SA Rugby, you know, to still have all that rivalries going, you know, Stormers, Bulls, and you've got Sharks, Bulls, us Sharks, the coastal derbies going. So I just think we're really in a healthy space, you know. So change, I just think this change just adds towards all of that, you know, it adds to the vibe, to the anticipation of everything. What a time to be involved in SA Rugby right now.
Sick, I was asking a couple of the boys on Tuesday as well, like when. I mean, this is obviously the first, can I call it like campaign in terms of it's the logo and the jerseys and the kits and everything all in one. I was saying to him, do you feel a sense of like added pressure in any way? That there's all this attention marketing-wise, advertising-wise, budget-wise, promotionally being put onto the team. And I think all the boys were like, no, you know, we think it's special and we think it's cool and we're proud, but we just want to go play good rugby.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, like it doesn't influence the fact that the goal at the end of the day is still to win.
Drinking an ox hydrate feels like.
Is there no one else? Give it up for still
Let's get back to the show.
And we like the change, but at the end of the day, rugby's still rugby. It's still about winning. It's still about putting up a good show and a good performance.
No, 100%, bro. It's just keeping the main thing. You know, as long as we don't lose focus of that, bro, I think, you know, we're definitely on the right track, you know. So, and I mean, like, we literally just finished preseason today. We had our kit launch, you know, so we also saw our kit for the first time today.
Sick.
Yeah, I was planning on wearing it.
You know,
I
almost.
don't want to send the ratings through the roof on the show. You know, so I mean, like, once again, that just adds to to everything, you know. So the preseason finished, the boys are going to be looking good, feeling good in their kit, and that's what you want, you know. So I literally just shared with you before we started chatting about, you know, the home and away jerseys, the home and alternative strip. Like, you want to feel good in both of them, you know. So I think we've got a situation like that this year, you know. Like, but like, you can mix and match, and I'll play with the green jersey and purple sock, you know. They've done an extremely good job, you know. So bro, we just honestly so excited, and we're excited to obviously bring the fans, you know, with us on this journey. And bro, it's just sit back and watch us go now. Yeah,
I'm so excited for the season, dude. So you to go like kind of to the beginning and then lead us the whole way through here, right? Like, originally, as you were saying, Benoni boy.
Yeah.
Love
100%.
it. Yeah.
Was a puppy.
There's always a little bit of like, you can strike a bit of fear when you say that.
I always say, like, whenever the season starts, I'm trying to go home for like a week, then back to the East Rand, because I know if I survive a week there, then I'm tough for the season. Then anything can come in the season, but you know what I mean? So it's like a top-up bundle. You know,
everyone's like, who's your scariest opposition? You like
got
the
my
boys
East Rand
back
in,
home.
so we can, 100%. But like, you know, this doesn't scare me.
That's sick. I love that. So your come into rugby was not the conventional South African understood way of getting into rugby, right? So you didn't do Craven Week, and you didn't do, like, let's say, under 19 provincial sort of level, right?
Yeah.
What was your journey and path like?
Well, like I just said, bro, I grew up in Benoni. So, look, I got into rugby because I just loved rugby. You know, like, I think one of my first gifts from my father, for me and my brother, was a rugby ball.
Sick.
You know, we watched rugby. My father played a bit of rugby, not professionally, but he was exposed. I think up until junior levels, he was playing, you know, for like the Golden Lions back then, you know, the Lions. Yeah, so we were exposed to rugby from a very young age, and obviously just boys being boys, we just loved rugby. So going to school, playing rugby, and then I was never really involved in any... Look, you went to trials to play trials, see if you can make the team, but... Never really made team, right through my whole entire high school career. You know, never played provincial rugby. And then just after school, but like you said, up until that point, you think, flip, if I don't play Craven Week, you know, I'm not going to be seen. I'm not going to get a contract after school. But even saying that now, like, I'm speaking like I know back then you got contracts. I didn't even know boys at under 19 and under 21 can get contracts to play, you know. So after school, literally left to go study at Dux, and then I had to go play.
What did you study? Like,
so here's the thing, bro. I loved sport, and I thought, let me go study something in sport because it'll be the easy thing. But once I started studying sport, I actually started. My matric marks was not bad. I made it. You know what I mean? Comfortably.
That's all that counts.
Yeah, comfortably, but not comfortably enough to go study sports science, what I wanted to go study. So I had to actually go study an Afrikaans sport bestuur, which is basically to become a teacher. You know? So education. I did that for 6 months, and then I started doing sports science.
Sick.
Yeah, which I thought, oh my word, I love sports. Let me study sports. Yeah. But then once I actually started studying sports and it got to the anatomy side of things, those words I can't even pronounce, I'm like, this is not for me. Like, there's no way.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And I was just like, flip, bro. There's no way. I remember, like, I started skipping classes so much because I had no idea what the hell was happening, that the rector, my Afrikaans there, the rector literally said to me, listen, Machana, like, it's all right, bro. Like, we're good, huh? And then I literally had to write a letter saying, like, you know, I'm sorry, I'll, you know, be more in class.
No way.
Yeah. Like, I had to basically write a letter convincing him why.
This is why you should like me.
This is why I should, you know, be able to continue to study.
Wow.
But so that was the sporting side of me. But what's aanlegtoetse? You know, aanlegtoetse, like what you are, like what you're good at, like what they are.
Like your passion or your
like
talent.
Yeah, like all the Afrikaans will know what I'm talking about. The aanlegtoetse. So
that word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm actually like a very creative guy. So
sick.
Good with drawing, good with designing. So they actually said to me, like, go into like graphic design and stuff like that. But I just like, no, I want to do sport. Then only after I went through that whole trip of switching, going to sports science, realizing that's not for me. And then in that process, still trying to make it in the rugby scene. So I had to play hostel rugby trials to make a hostel team. Vividus months in Tux those days. I don't even think they exist anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
I just got to a point where I was like, flip, you know, maybe I should just start doing what I'm actually good at. You know, people are saying I should start doing it. So then I ended up at Inkscape Design College in Pretoria.
No ways, I know Inkscape.
Yeah. So actually started, I think I did a full year or two there. I can't really 100% remember. And it's so strange how life works, where like you just continue to play rugby, not professionally, you just continue to play casually. And then it just got to a point where I was like, maybe I should just give up this rugby thing, because obviously clearly you're not getting a break. Like I was playing hostel rugby, then moved to Tuks under 19, then Tuks under 21, played a bit of Tuks 1 as well, first team. But when it got to that point, I was like, maybe this thing isn't working. Like I'm not going to continue to try and play until I'm 30 to get a contract. Sometimes life's just, it's a funny thing, like that moment you feel like, oh, flip, this is not for me. Then the break actually comes. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened for me, So trying to make it, flip, it's not for me. Let me just try to really complete my studies. There was a coach at Turks who actually just saw potential. And he actually knew coach Johan Ackerman at the Lions, who was the head coach then. And he just called Coach Akis and he's like, I've got a guy who's playing here for me. I see some real potential, would you be able to just have a look at him? And then the Lions invited me to come and train for a week with them. Went for a week, trained there, came back, didn't really hear anything. This was the year that I was 21 years old. Yeah, under 21.
Where was your head at getting the call or SMS or whatever, being like, hey, you're going to come play for the Lions? Are you going like, holy shit, I've made it?
Yeah, that's exactly what my mindset was. Because not that I've made it. For me, it was... it's a big occasion, you know what I mean? Because I feel like now that I know like the schoolboy scene in Cape Town, for instance, I feel like those boys get conditioned mentally. Like they play in front of thousands of people from under 14, you know what I mean? Like thousands of people rock up to watch the game. So I think like that crowd pressure and that external pressure, they get used to it quite from a very young age, like under 14, 15, 16. Like you see the Paul Derby that's being played. That's what, 30,000 people, 25,000 people that goes to watch Paul boys and Gim play. Jeez. Like that's more than some teams get in a URC game. Yeah. And then you get boys stepping up in that game, So I never had that growing up. Like we had 100, 200 people maybe at a game, so it wasn't this big thing. So I think like that mental part of Ruan still had to be developed. How do I cope not to impress people, not to play to impress, or look good for the camera, looking at am I on TV or not? That was not developed at all. Knowing how to cope with that. So when I went to the Lions for the first time in professional setup, I was like, flip, I'm at the Lions. You know what I mean? Like,
it's big.
This is big, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? And your dad's proud. Obviously, you're proud. Your mom's proud. Everybody's proud. But now that's only one part of it, is that you're there now. You know what I mean? That's another thing making the team. Anyways, came back. After a while, they just said, listen, everyone, our under 21 season is coming up. Went to go play. They offered me a contract, small contract, 5,000 Rand a month at the Lions.
Sure.
Yeah. So pretty much, I need to remember, like, this was a thing that I was hoping and praying for so long, bro. So they could have offered me 1,000 Rand a month. I would have been like, in your mind, you're a professional rugby player. You're getting paid. And you won't be able to, make a living for yourself.
But
in
you're
my
getting
mind,
paid.
as a student, I'm getting paid. I'm a professional in my mind, So went through, played under 21, not a lot of games, got injured that year. And I was lucky enough that they offered me another 2-year contract post that at the Lions.
Sick.
And then, like, now you're part of the senior squad. But that was the first year. 2013 was the year that the Lions got relegated out of Super Rugby. I don't know if you can remember. The Kings were still also a team. So they put the Kings into Super Rugby. The Lions were out. And we had that Lions challenge that was being played that year. They invited, like, a Montemarchan, and they invited Samoa to come and play. Like a couple of those teams we played against had a run there. Played Currie Cup, and then in 2014, the Lions were back in Super Rugby. They played those 2 massive relegation games, promotion relegation against the Kings, like one at Ellis Park, one down in the Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really remember. Was it the points margin difference? So obviously, if I beat you 50-0, you beat me 51-0 next week, you win.
You win
with
based
a
on point. Yeah.
I think that's how they did it. I can't really remember. But then we were back in. But obviously, now that you're back into Super Rugby, the squad you get more guys contracting coming in because you have to build squad depth. And it's just normal. If you're not playing Super Rugby, then you're not really getting guys who wants to come to the union because guys want international exposure. So that happened, and they just called me. They're like, and I've got real appreciation for them. They called me to be like, Ruan, listen, we don't really see you as being a contender for a starting position, which is fine. That happens. But then they said to me, Wits is, so that was the first year, 2014, that Wits got pulled up, or they got promoted to a varsity cup.
Yes.
And,
Okay.
yeah. And so between Wits and UJ, there's quite a couple of contracted, like junior Lions guys playing there. And they just said to me, like, Wits obviously has got an opportunity for you to play varsity cup for them. I was like, brother, I can go play varsity cup, or I can just, be here and not play.
Are you taking it on the chin as in like, cool, this is the process?
No, I think...
Or are you going, like...
No, bro, I think that's normal, For me, I personally believe, like, it has to mean something to you.
100%,
You know what I mean?
right?
Like, I feel like if you don't get upset about it, I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything to you, but like when you get upset, like that's just... It's
'cause you care.
100%, but like it means because you're training, you're putting in hours, sweat, blood, tears. You're also putting in the hours, bro. It's not like you're doing nothing. And everybody wants to play Super Rugby. I mean, let's be honest. So obviously upset at first, but then, what are you going to do? You're going to sit and sulk, or you're just going to grab the next opportunity, bro. So went to play, still trained with the Lions, but then in the evenings you would go and play varsity cup.
Okay.
But that was the first year that Wits was in the varsity cup. Look, bro, I think we lost every single game, like properly. Yeah. Ashland Davids is playing for the Boland Fly-Off now. He was my fly-off back then as well, So he's also come a very long way. But we both played there. Luckily, I was fortunate enough to have a really good varsity cup. And then Coach Neil and Maria Skuman, who was the head of sevens, the head of high performance at SR Rugby, the sevens, saw me and they're like, bro, come down. And I like, come for like a week or two as well. And then I knew, bro, like, flip, I have to make this work because obviously the sevens. Now you need to know, bro, like, I was barely in the senior setup at the Lions, played Wits Varsity Cup. Next moment, I get a call from the Springbok Sevens, bro. So it was one thing getting used to the lion on my, getting used to the lion on my chest. Next moment, bro, for me, I'm just seeing the Springbok, you know what I mean? Like, bro, I'm coming down to Stellenbosch, Springbok Sevens. Next moment, in between the Springbok Sevens. But yet I was never really exposed long enough in the professional setup to deal with this.
Yeah.
You know
Once
what I mean?
again, the jump is
100%,
so
bro.
big.
100%. So got invited down to come and train with the Sevens boys. It was out of season for them. They were busy planning or preparing for an academy tournament in Rome, I think. So I just came down to train that week. Came back eventually, then just carried on studying, and then didn't really hear anything from them.
That's the worst, though.
Yeah, it's because like what's happening
Sounds like
now.
an audition.
Yeah, so this is
You
like...
audition, and then for 2 months,
You
you're
don't
just
hear
like,
anything.
my life might change, it also might not.
Yeah, exactly.
Like...
And this was straight after Varsity Cup. So this would have been, let's say, March, roundabout there. And then just carried on, like studying, trying to make it at the Lions. And then a couple of months later, Maria Skuman calls me and he's like, listen, there's like an IPL Sevens Tournoi tournament in Sri Lanka, of all places. Sri Lanka. So how that tournament works is you got 5 internationals playing in every team. So obviously it's a team of 12, 5 internationals, and then the rest, the makeup of the team is just Sri Lankan boys. And then basically you just...
I didn't even know that Sri Lanka had people
me
that
too,
were
bro.
interested in playing
Yeah, me too.
rugby.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. How do I say this in a way that's not weird? Were there any big Sri Lankans?
So here's the thing. Now,
I'm saying, like...
we were 5 South Africans. It was myself, Sticks, who was the previous coach of the Sevens, Stephen Hunt, Mark Richards, and Josh. I forgot Josh's surname now. He'll probably kill me when he sees this now. But we were the 5 South Africans. Probably Mark Richards and Stephen Hunt was the only 2 established Springbok Sevens players.
Okay.
That was capped already. I was obviously nowhere near a Sevens team yet. Sticks was in the academy and Josh was in the academy. And the rest of the makeup is Sri Lankan boys, really. But I promise you, they were all probably they could have walked underneath this table here. Like, they're not really...
They small people.
Yeah, 100%. Probably here and there you get a boy who's not, like a bit of size, but the majority of them, like, we're gonna take points.
Yeah.
But then what was interesting to
I'd
me
expect
is...
a walkover from you
no,
boys.
So what was interesting to us was was it like the president's son or something was playing in it. He was obviously a Sri Lankan. He was playing in a team that was basically, he was the only Sri Lankan and the rest was all Fijian. So they were like,
wow.
No, there is 5 Fijian internationals, but then the other 6 of the 7 who makes up the team was also Fijian. They're like, no, they've all got Sri Lankan citizenship. Like, there's no way. So they basically rocked the whole tournament for 2 weeks. It's like a back-to-back tournament, which was like really fun. But I just knew it's going to be a long day. And I'm pretty sure any one of the 5 guys would say the same.
Oh, yeah.
We knew it's going to be a long 2 weeks when we played the first game and they broke the line. And our sweeper was basically running with the opposition back to the try line, like trying to tackle him. Shitty boys.
It has to be a long 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was
guys.
a long 2 weeks there. But in any case, like, so that was just like a friendly tournament that I played. And then Shoes actually saw some real potential in me. And I'm pretty sure Shoesy would remember this, but he then accidentally put on the group that all of us were on. It was like a players group, but only for the 5 or 6 of us that was there. He accidentally put on that group, a lot of potential in Ruan. I reckon we can start drafting a contract. He can start preseason with us. And I just happened to see that message.
That must have sent you over the moon.
Bro, it's unbelievable.
That's insane.
Like, it's unbelievable because like you approaching that, like, this is the last thing that this has to work. Because at the line's not really working out for me as like now. So seeing that, once again in my mind, you're thinking Springbok Sevens preseason, and oh my word, you feel like a meneer. And started preseason with the Sevens when they started preseason. Now, mind you, I rocked up at that Sevens tournament, still just gymming. Like I was just gymming and thinking to myself, let me get fit. But you've got no idea what fitness is until you rock up at the Sevens. It is intense.
So much running,
bro. It's intense. Like there's never a day that you rock up thinking like you never hope. Or rock up knowing today's going to be a chill day. Like, today's going to be a tough day. You just make peace with the fact that at some point today, you'll probably be tasting blood. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's a tough environment. Like, it's not because they wanted it to be, it's just the nature of the beach. This is the nature of Sevens. But like, that's what.
We want to thank you guys for watching this far. We also want to thank Super Mushrooms for keeping me focused for every episode of Storytime.
What would a training session, how would a day in the life of Ruan at Sevens go?
Yeah, so Mondays you rock up there. So our Mondays were basically bleep conditioning. So it's, everybody knows about the bleep. So like the Sevens, you just run a bleep because you're running a bleep.
I hate the bleep test.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anybody who loves it. But that was normally incorporated with a bit of wrestling on the indoors with maybe like wrestling skills, breakdown skills, stuff like that. So it's a grueling session Mondays, like Monday mornings, If you were part of the academy back then, they used to call it paraiki sessions.
Paraiki.
Paraiki. I know it's froggy, like froggy sessions. Or
Okay.
whatever. So let's say the senior boys would get in a little bit later, you would get in a bit earlier, and then you would basically do extras, like extra breakdown work, extra passing, maybe a bit of extra running, because like we're working towards making the team. Yeah, I'm loving it. I love that. The senior boys, I'm saying senior boys, like the cap boys would get in a little bit later, have breakfast, and then you would just join them and your normal day would start. So then you would go to the indoors, have your wrestling, your running, probably have a gym station and then a field session a bit later, whether that be now, it'll normally be like a tact or kick or focus or, working on pods. It's so individualized as well, like individual skills that you would focus on. And then as the week progressed, you'll probably go into the next day, you still have your gym, your defensive, defensive days was really tough, bro. You can just imagine because it's 7 guys. The drills they put you in is really uncomfortable. It's a lot of space covered. And let's be honest, bro. I played in an era where dreadlocks was a thing, bro. You did not want to defend against a dreadlock. Your Cecil Africas, Branko de Prias, Justin, Ciabellos. Yeah. You can go through all of them. It was not the most fun thing to do on a field is defending.
You're gonna be running.
Yeah. So so defense day is really tough, especially double defense. Just a lot of running. Contact is pretty tough as well. And then you got a coach like Coach Nel. It's look, bro. It's not. I'm not going to say not often, but let me use that word. Not often. It's not often that you get a coach that you would honestly just break your ribs for. But like this guy's passion is like, bro. He not only loved the guys, but he loved the system, like the standards he was pushing. And in fact, like the whole management squad, but like you just wanted to get involved, you know what I mean? Like Coach Nel Boots was on, bro. Don't think he was standing there with a whistle just saying like, run until I'm tired type thing. Coach Nel tore a pec, broke a rib, in warm-ups in tournaments, but like he gets involved, so.
Okay, so he's in the movements with you, like, giving it horns,
he loves it, but like Coach Nel loves it. Like it's even wrestling sessions, but like he doesn't mind getting involved. So, and the thing is, you would think, Coach Nel's a bit older. He's the coach. We would go and maybe have one up. Like, but Coach Nel was strong, but he was going toe to toe with us. You know, he's got a bit of a wrestling background as well. So he was like really street smart as well.
Yeah,
so
that's like boost strength.
Yeah. But it was just that type of coach where like he treated everybody the same, but you wanted to make him proud, you know, like I think that's it's such a special quality to have as a coach. But like when you got guys playing for you that you know, we want to make him proud. We don't want to disappoint him, you know. So that was the coach that I had at the Sevens, you know. So double defense, and then, you know, Fridays once again, they maybe just ended off with a bit of, you know, like an off-feed cardio session with another field session with the gym. So just an intense environment.
That's a lot, eh?
Yeah, so when I rocked up at the Sevens, I was 103, because remember, I was just gymming, and my only knowledge I had was of 15s, bro. I don't know what the hell a Sevens player even. I just knew it was tough, but you only hear that it's tough until you're in it. Then you actually realize how tough it really is. So I rocked up with 103, started preseason. I think 2.5 months later, I played my first tournament in Gold Coast, made my debut. I was 93 kilograms. Like, I just lost. Like, bro, there was no more. You don't gym to get big, bro. Like, you just gym to be effective. You know, you gym to be powerful, explosive.
Damn, dude, 10 kilos.
Yeah. So, and then just over the years, I just gradually started building up again, you know, to where my last Sevens tournament was probably like 97, 98 max.
What are you at now?
I'm now 100, 99, 100.
That's a good weight though, right?
Yeah, like and I'm 1.9, you know. So,
yeah, because you fast and big.
Yeah, so but I mean, like, it's but except not from your Fijians and your Kenyans and your average Sevens player is probably between 75 and 85 kilograms.
Sure.
You know, so one of the heavier boys as well, but comfortable enough to move. So
that's a great balance.
Yeah, and then just lucky enough, we made my debut, contracted, and then the path just so happened that after a couple of years of playing Sevens, transitioned into the 15s game.
Yeah. And you scored 247 points in your Sevens
the thing is that catches me there, what people will not know is it's that 7.
Ooh.
247 points, which means at some point I had to kick for poles. You know what I mean? So,
that's dope if you did.
Yeah, bro, but trust me, I was not, I promise you right now, you can ask anybody that I would not have been the preferred first kicker, you know. I actually can't remember how that happened. I just think in one tournament maybe it just came down to, hey, Ruan, we need a kicker, you know, maybe kick or whatever.
And just went, eh?
Yeah, and I promise you right now, probably that kick was right in front of the poles because, bro, your legs are... That I've got so much respect for guys who kick to poles at Sevens, because if you're not in that situation ever, you will never know just how pop your legs are. I mean, like, you're doing this, bro. Like, go,
That's
go,
rough,
go.
Eh?
Score, and now you must kick from the 15-meter line to, you know, slot it maybe to even draw the game or win the game or send us into extra time. And then there's still guys, you know, like Branko and Cecil were unbelievable. Justin as well. They were unbelievable kickers.
Yeah.
But up until that point, when I was in that situation, I was like, bro, this is not the easiest thing to do when your legs are that tired. So
now you got to have power and precision with a shaky leg.
Yeah. So once again, another skill within your vast variety of skills to still be able to do that, you know. So, and then just 2017 started transitioning to province.
Yeah.
And
then got to move to the good old Cape.
Yes, bro. Saw the light in 2014.
Happy to move, yeah?
Okay.
Lekker.
No, it's top, bro.
That's
We're
proper.
back to, and my wife never really understands, like, I'm like rigting bedonderd, as you would say in Afrikaans. Like, I would, like, always when she asks me, I would sit and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's daarso. You know, like, yeah, net hier shot me right, but then it'll actually be like this way.
Oh yeah.
But I would picture myself standing at a robot and then the shopping center is in front of me here. Like, I just place myself mentally in a space. So I'm like, it's right in front of me.
Yeah.
And then she's like, but it's there. And then what we realize is, like, in Joburg, there's no, like, here you see Table Mountain and you see, like, Durbanville Hills there.
Yeah, like landmark.
Yeah, like, you know where everything is. And in Joburg, you don't see that. You know, so you praat net so.
No, Joburg, I'm always lost.
Yeah.
Always lost.
And I just said to my wife, I'm like, but that's how I grew up. Like, you just, that's net die ander kant. You know, but
it's right there.
Yeah, but when you grew up in Cape Town,
yeah.
You've got the landmark. You've got Table Mountain.
It's slightly easier.
You can see things, you know. Like, if I'm in Somerset West Mountain or at Kaap Soontoe.
Yeah, you know, there's town, there's coast. Yeah, good point.
100%.
In an interview, and I thought it was such a good quote that you made, where you said, most people think that Sevens rugby is faster than 15. But what they don't understand is that your way of thinking in 15s is so much faster than your way in Sevens. Because in Sevens, you've got so much more space to work with.
Yeah.
So you have more time before making the decision. Where in 15s, you're always 2 steps ahead.
100%.
Dude, I thought that was as you said it, I was like, I've never thought about it that way. That like, because there's so much bloody running in sevens.
Yeah, you just automatically think everything happens quicker.
Exactly, right? Yeah. But in 15s, the guy's right here, and like, you better make that decision quick, fast.
Yeah. Look, I mean, like, you can just think about it. In 15s, you know, let's say we go from a line out, they launch right into that vacuum. You know, and on a sevens field, if they launch from a scrum, all 7 guys are in motion. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to stay connected the whole time. So you've got time, obviously. No one in sevens trying to shoot out of the line or, you know, make like a hero hit, because it's one slip up and you're probably chasing 80 meters back, you know. So you've got a lot of patience when defending. Same on attacking. Like, you're looking, obviously, if you got like some great skills, great footwork, you can beat a guy one-on-one and there the line break happens. But normally when a guy's impatient, he slips up, that's the opportunity to go, you know what I mean? So with 15s, if you think about it, the guy launches into the vacuum. Not all 15 guys are in motion. You know, like, meaning your centers will jump, they'll push back. Second phase, they're ready to go again. You know what I mean? Like, and probably your first, second, third phase, defensive systems nowadays, you know exactly who's folding, who's checking who. So you're just waiting for triggers, you know what I mean? The moment that guy gets the ball, I know that's my trigger to go. You know, so
damn, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like
it's like a science.
Yeah, but like, and we've seen it. I mean, like, even at the Springboks, it's well documented. You know, Coach Jock, how, you know, it's detail orientated and everything. I'm pretty sure if you ask anybody now, the same thing still. It's detail orientated. Like, the 10 shapes like this. If he does that is going to be his movement. That's going to be the first option, second option, whatever it is. You know, but that's exactly what I found moving from sevens to 15s is. At sevens, you got space to run 10, 15 meters. Now I'm seeing the inside defenders following. All right, my switch is on. So there's a trigger I can pick up. With 15s, my time on the ball is so much less. But like, the moment I get that ball, there's probably a guy rushing or they're coming up or I got a shooter. So I already know, you know, based on communication, that actually happened very quickly, like the tip or the pull is on, or, you know, so your decision making is much quicker. You know, so the game might seem slower, but the decision making it needs to happen so much faster.
Do you still find yourself, maybe this is a silly question, but because I've never played sevens and I tried 15s as a kid and it didn't go well, so I stopped pretty much, right? Then I lost a bet with a friend and had to go play again for Durbanville.
What bet was that?
I had to stay single for a year. We made a bet that I'd stay single for a year in like 8 months. No, I've always been a relationship kind of guy. 8 months into the year, I started dating a girl, and then we broke up.
Oh, yeah?
Like 6 months later.
Why did you play? What position?
I didn't know what to say, so I just said flank.
Oh, okay, nice, yeah.
Dead honest with you, yeah. So Speakeasy in Durbanville, when it was still in like the OG original spot with the big tree, my mate calls me up for a beer, Anthony. He's just a solid boykie. He calls me up for a beer and we go have a beer and we cheers and he goes, cheers, I'll see you at practice on Monday. And he starts drinking his beer and I go,
Why?
Practice I'm out on Monday.
Yeah.
So I go, dude, what are you talking about practice? He goes, no, you're coming to play for Durbanville. So I said, why would I ever go play for Durbanville? He says, dude, we made a bet. He remembered the bet for a year.
No ways.
Then they line you up and there's just like a moose Afrikaans with a clipboard.
Yeah.
And then everyone walks past him and he goes, positie, and then writes position next to your name. And he, positie, and I looked at my mate. I was like, dude, what fucking position do I play? I've never done, you know? Just say flank. I'm like, okay, flank. And flank. Oh, okay. I was in every single set piece.
Yeah, obviously,
And I was like, I've never done any of these things. Like line outs. The guy in front of me, like, dude, what do I do?
To blame your friend, that's horrible advice.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could put me anywhere else that's slightly a little bit easier.
You know nothing, put him on the wing at club level.
Yeah,
you know
just
let
me run.
But I'm saying at club level, the wings don't do anything, but that's probably where you will experience the least amount of contact.
Yes.
At least for the first couple of phases.
At least to find my feet a little
100%,
bit, you know?
yeah.
Does your brain still do the sevens thing of like, what if I just, or is there like, is that not really...
I think, like, for me, I just always understood really well what my job was at the Sevens. Like, I was never going to be the stepper. I mean, I was never going to be the creator, the playmaker. And I'm happy because that's not my strength. You know?
Okay.
So transitioning to the 15s, the one thing that Brandmark uses is like, you just got an engine. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing. Like, Scooby ball, hulle word nie moegie. Like, let them just chase. You know what I mean? It's like a dog you throw the ball from. Like, I just do it the whole day.
Go again.
It's like, I also get tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that was more the like a lack of a better word or phrase, like the brand marking, like the brand.
Okay.
You earmarked as a guy who can just always run, which we could. But I was never the guy that's gonna, create step 5 guys, gooi offload behind the back, the typical sexy stuff you think if you think about sevens. My role at the sevens is pretty clear. Like they put me in the centers, like, you offer a short line or a really hard line. It's going to probably suck in 2 defenders. It's going to have to commit themselves towards that tackle. And obviously, 7 minus 2, which is only 5 guys on their feet. Yeah. Probably a guy at the back, which means there's 4 guys, that you get guys like I just said, Sissel, Branko, Justin, Siabello, those guys working into space who's got good feet and they'll actually expose that, So I've never tried to be that flashy creator type.
So you quite a foundational.
Yeah, but like I know exactly what
happen.
Where I'm good at, where I feel comfortable at. Obviously you work on other things, like you try to put some more tools in the toolbox, like work on your footwork, so you become better in contact, become better. When there's a bit of space between you and defender, but never to the point where I was under the illusion that I'm gonna trap this guy. ACLs are snapping and nothing like that. So I guess like when I moved from 7s to 15s. That was the same mentality. Luckily, I was lucky enough. I actually started on the wing for Western Province. And then just with time, Everfield Unit played 13 for the Stormers back then. He actually pulled his hammy in the semi-final versus the Lions, 2017 Currie Cup.
And they kind of shifted you.
They just shifted me in for that game. And then I just never really left 13 again in the system. But same thing, where, like I just said, the 7s is probably a bit more space where you can work a guy, gooi him, trap him inside. When 15s, you don't really have that space
to
play
right there.
That's why, bro, like guys like Chesy is so fascinating to watch, bro, because bro, he does on the 7s field, he does on the 15s field what he does on the 7s field. Like, bro, he traps the guy, looks like he's playing 7s. It's so clean, insanity, bro. It's so nice to watch. And bro, it's unbelievable to watch. So, but once again, he's really good with that. So and that's where his strengths are. He's probably got so many other strengths, but he's really good. If I try and do that, bro, it's not going to work for me. You know what I mean? Like, bro, Mark Klein, take your medicine. Mark Klein, take your medicine. Trying to use your probably your size and contact, trying to get over that vantage line. Let the guys clean, and from there we go.
So could what you were earmarked for, because in your position, like for the Stormers, it feels like, as someone watching, an extremely critical role in terms of, again, you making a lot of plays happen.
I think you'll always have like some kind of an option around you. Like there's always like built-in options. You can see if the shoulder's on, or check if out the ball at the back is on. So there's always like some kind of a creative role that they give you in the position. But it's not going to be a massive thing. So, and I guess that's the beauty of a team sport, is if you can't just have 7 steppers at the back. Someone has to be able to do the bit of dirty work, carry it up hard. I think like the Springboks have got such a nice balance to that at this stage. You got Dukes at 12, Jesse at 13. Yeah. Those guys work extremely hard. You know what I mean? They can take the ball up really effective, and that opens up space for guys at the back to do their thing. Your Chases, your Kirtleys, your Edwells. So I mean, like someone has to commit guys towards the breakdown, so we can open up space for the guys.
Pull everyone in.
100%, bro. So even though some people see it as boring, bro, if you don't get those guys that are really effective in that, you'll just be shifting ball the whole day, because no one is really committing to a breakdown, or you just got 13, 14 guys on their feet the whole time, and you're presented with this wall. So you do need those guys. Rugby's evolved. You've got flanks now, loosies that they can use, from a set phase launch, so they're pushing in there. Your centers can do that, So it's about being creative as well, which I feel like a lot of the teams are moving towards. But I guess it's just about knowing where your strengths are, bro, like as an individual as well, and as a team as well, to exploit, for use the Stormers now as an example, to be able to put a Sasha or a Damien or a Warwick in a position where they can now use options, like flip, all right, cool, I got options, I've got guys who's turned shoulders, I've got a little bit of magic I can work, so that has to start somewhere,
Shit, you break it down in such a cool way.
Look, and I think that's what makes test series so interesting, like when you go into a 3-match test series, it's game 1, you present a certain picture, bro. I promise you right now, I'm not going to say, probably like I'm speaking like I've played 100 games for the Boks, bro, I've done, but obviously you can just use your brains, like, if you did something in test 1, bro, they'll probably be aware of test 2, like, cool. They'll probably be paid for it. What can we do in test 2 to try and catch them out again? Same for them. Like, what can we do to try and stop them for test 2? So
crazy.
That's why it's interesting, bro. Like, it's once again, bro, that's easier said than done. There's a lot of effort and analysis and stuff that goes into that.
But you can tell that you genuinely love rugby as well.
No, look, obviously I do, but I just think as a player, as a professional, you obviously have to know what the hell you're doing on the field.
100%.
It's no use running a line just to run the line. Like, why am I running the line? You know what I mean? Like, I can take a ball and run into the 10, but we're not trying to commit the 10. We're actually trying to commit the 12. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's small stuff. Like, you know, like if I commit the 12, the play will, you know, he recycles back to the blind, which means we'll have an extra number. Whatever the case might be, but like it's about knowing why am I running the play to try and exploit the space on the third or fourth phase, you know. So, and I guess, bro, it's just part of, like you say, the love of it, but like, you know, like how can we catch these guys properly out, you know? So, one thing that I think I would not be good at is like, I don't think I know I wouldn't be good at it, is like a live. Like your knife analysis, you know, like your Skulk burgers and Brady's and bakes. Like when like Skulk breaks he breaks the game down for me so well, bro.
Awesome.
And that's being done live, bro. Like so for him, like your knowledge and your eye has to be so properly well trained. You know, come on halftime, you can, you know, you probably have your clips or you've identified a couple of areas that you feel like needs to be improved. Or, for me, that's a whole nother thing. Because when I'm doing analysis, you know, you train the day, they upload it onto, you know, our platform that we all study. So I've got time then to sit and go through the training and rewind.
I was about to say rewind again.
Yeah, 100%. Like what could I have done better? You know, so, but for me to do that live and you know it's a 10-minute half, you're getting a 4-minute segment quickly that you can chat and then be able to effectively communicate that for the people at home to also understand. Because remember, not everybody thinks like a professional, bro. Like we've got our own language when we speak, you know, like when I chat about, you know, the pillars and the ruck speeds and stuff like that. Like the normal guy at home won't probably know what the hell am I talking about. So for you to be able to analyze that and then break that down into its like purest form for everybody to get a grasp of what needs to happen or where we can improve, I feel like that is such a special skill to have. Like the way you communicate it, it's bro, I can listen to that the whole day. So so he's probably one of the best to me at this stage.
I want to ask you in closing. You've won a Sevens Series championship, you've won a Currie Cup, and you've won a URC. Congrats, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
That's insanity. Yeah. Like as soon as I saw your like the accolade in front of me, I was like, damn, it's a lot of rugby, dude. And like, you know, again, the technical aspect, the fitness, the injuries that you've had to overcome, all the different moves you've had to make in the earlier years, like it not being a conventional way in. And then you look at that accolade and it's like, oh shit, despite all the tough times and the no's and the maybes and to have that written down is incredible.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Out of the 3 wins, I'm not going to ask you which one was the best because they're all meaningful. But out of the 3 wins, what for you made each of those wins special?
Yeah, I think 2017, before 2017, we won the World Series post the 2016 Rio Olympics. Okay. We won the World Series the season after Rio Olympics. Like we went on to this blinder of a season where we, you know, from the 10 tournaments, played in 8 finals, won 6. Like we had the season wrapped up with the whole tournament to go. You know, so that was pretty special to dominate the World Series for that, like that, you know, consistently over a, let's say, period of a year or 8 months or whatever. So that was special in itself because I think, obviously, the group of guys we did it with was also like really, you know, your Kwachas involved. And so special to do that. Then we went on to go play Currie Cup that year, 2017, won it with Western Province. That was like my first transition to 15s. So, and first time I was exposed to Dobbo as a coach, Norman Lake as a defense coach, you know, Darby Snyman as the attack coach.
Yeah.
And they were also still, I won't say young in their coaching careers, but, you know, they were up and coming in the ranks. They haven't coached Stormers yet, so Currie Cup, it's just such a fierce campaign. I played center with Hugh Jones, you know, so.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, you know, so, and obviously you got to do it with Siabella on the one wing, Vanna Kok on the other wing, so you had those special relationships. But I just think, you know, that was the first introduction or, how can I say, like exposure to Western Province rugby. For me, grabbing the opportunity with both hands was like a no-brainer because I was like, bro, I'm playing for Vietnam. I mean, like to win a Currie Cup, it's Vietnam, bro, Nieuweland, and you know, you grew up with those things. Looked like that's fairy tale world when I grew up. So just special winning it, 2017 against the Sharks in Durban. I just think like the bunch of people we had there was just, it was the group that made it ultimately, what made it special there. So I'm not going to say like let's just pinpoint the group there. Then the season after that went back to the sevens. So that seventh season was a really up and down season. We didn't really win much, but we still managed to win the World Series for the second year in a row, 2017-18. But how we did it was special. So we were second right through the entire season. Fiji was first. And then we got to Paris Sevens. It was the last tournament of the World Series. And then Fiji had to lose in the quarterfinal. We actually played cup final against them in London at Twickenham the week before that. But we had to beat them to put ourselves properly in contention to win the World Series the next week in Paris. But then we lost that final at Twickenham. And they had a massive team. Like Joshua Eady was playing, Semi Radradra was playing. Have you played John Oloma Rugby on PlayStation? Yeah. You know when you push like two buttons and John Oloma just runs like that? And then everybody just bounces off him. Like that was Joshua Eady on a sevens field, bro. It's just people just bouncing. So then lost to them, Twickenham. So then we knew the next week Fiji had to lose in a quarterfinal, which they've not done that entire season. They've not lost in a quarterfinal. And we had basically to win the tournament if they lose in a quarterfinal. But if they go past the quarterfinal, the cup quarterfinal, they win the series because in the points, we wouldn't be able to catch them. What happened was, went to Paris, played, and then in the quarterfinal of that tournament, Fiji played England, and England beat Fiji in the quarterfinal. So then we knew Fiji was out. Yeah, 100%. Fiji out of the tournament. So then we're like, flip, we need to win this tournament if we want to win the World Series. And then when I think we played New Zealand in the Cup semi, we actually played Spain in that quarterfinal. Drew, went into extra time. And then only in the second half of the extra time, we scored the winning point.
The second half of the extra time.
Yeah. So scored the winning point there. I think Justin Geduld still scored it. Went on to play New Zealand in the semi-final. Won that game. And then, and this is like a fairy tale thing. So the last game of the World Series of the last tournament, we had to win the World Series, which was against England. And I think that is what made it so special that year, is the fact that it literally came down to like the last game.
Right.
Yeah, literally. Like it wasn't decided up until that last game. So to have won it there was like incredibly special, because the week prior to that, you were like, yeah, it's probably a big ask for Fiji to lose in a quarterfinal if they've not done it at all. They were dominant that whole season.
It's an expensive sport, though.
It is.
It's an expensive sport.
Yeah. But listen, like I can't play golf with guys who are really serious.
No,
if I take Kitsi, for instance, Kitsi's a really good golfer. But bro, he makes it fun when you play with him. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna, if I swing and I've got an absolute terrible swing on me, he's not gonna be that guy to get up and say, oh no, Ruan, trying to hold your club or your feet. And I'm like, bro, just let me play. Like, just let me enjoy the day.
Let me enjoy this.
Bro, I'm not supposed to be good at this.
Yeah.
So
to me, it's a drinking game.
Like
That's why I'm there.
Yeah, I'm here to have a good time. I would just say, look, I just paid over 1,000 rand to play. Let me play all the shots that's available. If it's out of the rough, it's out of the bunker. If it's
get every experience you can. Yeah,
just let me enjoy it.
Yeah, I've almost played a ball in the wrong direction, as in thought the course went that way.
Okay,
that bitch went that way.
Is it?
Yeah.
I actually played around with Kitsi at the Zalza, and we teed off early. It was me, Damien, Kitsi, and I can't remember who was the fourth player who was playing with us. And it was like really misty at the Zalza.
Yeah.
Teed off, but it was like you tear off like ball gone. You just hope that it's because you lose it in the mist.
Somewhere there.
Yeah, and then like the first hole we played the 10th. All of us get to the fairway, we just see, like the ball appears, you know what I mean? Like through the mist. Wow, what a shot. You finish the 10th hole, we get to the 11th. It's a par 4 on the Zalza. Once again, misty, hit it, get to the fairway, it's in the fairway. So now it's a par 4. My second shot's the approach shot towards the green. I hit that thing in the teeth. You hear it. Just gets out low, but it goes. As we get to the green, remember, like it's incredibly misty, bro. As we get to the green, there's like these Germans, like the Zalza and Stellenbosch, like a lot of German tourists there.
Lani homies.
100%. And like these Germans appear from the other side of the bush, but like there's a green and then it's a bush around the green and then the next tee off is just behind the bush.
Okay.
And my ball somehow went right through those bushes and rocked the guy like right here in the groin almost.
No!
Yeah. But I'm not, like that ball went. And then I get there and the guy's literally, like the guy who I hit is not even angry. He's standing there with his pants on his ankles, like checking his groin. And his partner is the one that's trying to, like, oh, what are you guys doing? And
I'll never understand that kind of like.
And I'm just like, bro, like I'm sorry, like I did not see.
Yeah.
Like obviously I'm not gonna try and aim for the guy, like, you know what I mean?
You can't even see 3 meters in front of you, let alone the German standing in the bushes.
Yeah, I was like, bro, you're a moving target. How can I hit you if I can't even hit a still standing target? Like,
exactly.
It's not in any case, but the more I'm trying to explain to him, like, yay, it's not on spine, relax.
Yeah.
Kitsy and then pull up. Kitsy gets out. Now, it's Kitsy. The guy just immediately, bro, like they just went, so be careful,
That's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Like we got that vibe when Kitsy, I said to Kits, bro, like, why is it the moment when you pulled up, bro, everything just calmed down?
Everything changes, eh?
But in any case, that's my golfer. It's just anybody can get it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Go follow Ruan on all socials. I put all the links below. Go DM him and tell him good luck for the season. It's going to be an incredible season. Once again, thank you, Adidas, and thank you, Stormers. New logo, new jerseys, new look and feel. Incredibly excited for the season. Ready to see the Stormers take it this year. Thank you, boys. Okay, bro.
Fabulous.
Well done, dude.